Will the UK economy bring the Dow Jones towards 27,715? 29563 has passed, it has triggered, we have profited. The question now will be, was the Dow going towards the 27,715 level? And which market will be the catalyst? I suspect it will be the UK economy, because UK economy now is in shambles and the inflation is at very high level, more than 10%. And the crazy part is this, it's a high chance it will go even higher to potentially 12%. And the bond prices in UK is really coming down very fast because the pound is rapidly going towards potential parity. This is crazy. Let's begin. Now, before we do that itself, disclaimer apply as usual, alright? And thank you, Ames, for the kind sponsorship. Now, let's look at the US inversion again. You can see at the moment now, right, the US inversion, the 2-year to the 10-year now, is at really incredible level. For the last 22 years, we are back again. Now, back in 1999, we have the NASDAQ crisis, then we have the SARS, and that was the time whereby there was a global recession, alright? And how it happened? Because the inversion came in. And we all know that economically, once there's an inversion, something bad usually will follow through. Okay, so fast forward the tape, we had one again back in 2007 with an inversion, and what happened next? Lehman crisis. Alright, fast forward. Then 2019, we saw a very intermittent dip down, and at the time there was a lot of people saying that this is like, just a small blip, but we all know that after that, we have the pandemic, and of course we have a global recession. So every time when the inversion happen, we will have a global recession. The question is this, at the moment now, basically no one is saying that. Why? Because the Dow Jones is still at a pretty high level. It's down by 20% from the all-time high, but it's like not there because everybody is still pretty positive, and this is where it gets very scary. Now, let's take a look here itself. So this is from Bloomberg. Apparently itself, right, most models are not used to this several standard deviation, okay, by this Christian Hoffman. All right, he's saying that, okay, we are not seeing a real liquidity crisis yet, but the market remain incredibly fragile. Okay, so what's happening right now? Let's take a look here. The yield is shooting up because the bonds are going down in price. People are dumping the UK bonds because they have no confidence in the government, no confidence in the economy, and that's the reason why the bonds are being dumped while the yields are going up. Okay, now when this all is happening, it's because the pound is now coming down very fast, rapid. Why? Because the US dollar has gained so much strength. We got all the interest rate hiking, right? So what will likely happen is that the UK now will need to hike interest rate. But the problem is the inflation now is really at 10% or higher, and the economy is in shambles. So imagine if they were to continue rate hike. I mean, what will happen? It may stimulate the pound a little bit, but it's not going to save the day and might trigger what happened the time in 1992 where George Soros basically won $10 billion. Remember that big deal itself? Yes, and did. Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. That was where George Soros won $1 billion for himself and $1 billion for his fund. All right. So let's just take a look at here right now. This is very incredible. The UK market plunged as a spark talks of emergency BOE rate hike. Now, the last time we see something like this itself, right, it was really back in 1992, whereby the BOE has to keep on hiking rate to prevent the pound from basically crashing. And of course, George Soros makes so much money from there, and it seems like it's coming back again. Look at it right now. The rate hike, the rate have been staying quite. It's expected to go much higher, all the way to 300 basis points. And this is really bad. And this is what they mentioned. It's about 30 years ago and what happened on Black Wednesday when the government and BOE unsuccessfully battled to keep the currency in the ERM. Remember? Okay. So now the thing is this. Although that we all know that the bank will do whatever you need to do to bring the pound up, but when you do that itself, right, in a market like this is going to break the market. This is really going to break the market. So we saw that happen because recently it's just right, Japan historical intervention failed. Yes, remember that day itself, right, when I was expecting this dollar yen to hit 147, but I did say that, right, just only worried that there could be intervention coming in, and truth be told, the intervention really came, and the yen basically came from 143, 140 146 came down all the way to 141. But the problem is it doesn't really help because now it's back to 143 again. So we have seen many times before, anytime when the government come to intervene, it will have a temporary reprieve. But after that, it's all right. Sorry, it's going to go back. Okay, so let's bring the dollar yen for a quick one to just show you guys on this thing here itself. Dollar yen, let me bring it in where we are. Where is it right now? Okay, moment. Here we go. Okay, dollar yen, here we go, 143. Okay, apology on that. So wait, sorry, I think this is not for that purpose. Let me just change it a little bit. Okay, here we go. All right, let's look at dollar yen. Okay, so you can see on the chart right now, on this day, we were looking for it to go higher. It did went to 145.90. Then suddenly the intervention came. It dragged the dollar yen all the way down to a low of 140.34. And then what happened? It rebounded so strongly back to 142. So this intervention itself, in my opinion, has failed. And now it has created a new BNB right here, which means that if this is going to continue and stay, there could be a chance that the dollar yen is going to 145. 146 level, and if it goes higher and the BNB stay tuned, we might even see 151. Oh my goodness, this is going to really go crazy for the market. All right, so that's why I say intervention won't help, and this is going to be bad. Now let's take a look at this one here. The major foreign holders of US Treasury securities. Now the bad and the worst thing is that now the countries are holding is Japan, China, UK. Now think about this. Japan now is in trouble and they're holding so much treasuries. China itself is having problem and UK also. So what is stopping them to release the US treasuries to save their own currency? Very high chance. That's the reason why now you can see the US bond prices are coming down, because these country probably has been selling their US treasuries. So if they just dump it now, okay, the bond price in America will come down further, the yield will be pushed up higher, and that will trigger even more pain to the current situation. And this is whereby it gets very scary. So Japan, China, UK, if they were to dump, oh my goodness, this will get very, very disastrous. So that's the reason why you can see right now the 2-year yield now is moving back to the 2008 level, and the time itself the Dow Jones, S&P 500 was just only at 1008. Now the S&P 500 is at 3,700, and though many people calling for a double bottom, but I'm so sorry, I think this thing will go even higher. This will go past 4.5 to even 5. This will bring the S&P down, and I believe that we could see 3,004 to even 3,002 for the S&P 500. And of course, if that really all happened, there is a chance that the Dow Jones is going to see 27,715. Now, how do I get this number? Let me explain this to you. Very simple. Okay. Now you can see that this is the Dow Jones charts from the 100% level, and I did a simple formula. Every 5% we have a pullback, right? Okay, so the last time we saw this, the market missed it by 100 points and recover all the way. Okay, you got the idea now. So the thing is this, I realized that if you take the between numbers between like 80% to 85%, the between number, which is like in this case 82.5, it will act as a very incredible support. And you can see from the chart, the market really hit the support, rebounded, hit the support, rebounded, and went all the way up, right? Okay, so what if it came down again? Look at it. Oh my God, for 2 times in a row. Let's look at it bigger now. You can see that the market came down to the midpoint, which is at 30,487, bounces twice. Then on this fateful day, whereby it went below it, that's it. That's the reason why the Dow collapsed down to the 80% mark, which is 29,563. Got it? Okay. So now the Dow Jones seemingly is holding its fort at 29,563 because that is an 80% mark, which is known to be the bear territorial mark. So by holding above it, it's trying to tell people that, okay, we have to hold this fort right now because we don't want to enter into the bear territory. Okay, so that is why the Dow Jones is trying its best to hold above it. Okay, now what if the Dow Jones go below 29,563? Then the next number you'll be going will be the halfway mark, which is at 28,639. Okay, 28,639. Okay, now the next number, which is the 75% mark, you see every 5% we do a mark down. That will be the 27,715, and that is where I said that if the Dow Jones really pulls below 29,563, the first target will be 28,639, but the eventual target could go as low as 27,715. All right, so traders, these few numbers kind of take down because all this will be very helpful later. Okay, all right, so with that as well, right, you can see on the Goldman Sachs research over the last 70 years, you can see on average, okay, on average, we will see that the medium of the S&P coming down, all right, it's about 20 to 22%, but the medium itself, right, whereby usually it moves is about 30%. So if we look at it right now, if I suspect that the S&P 500 is gonna, Dow just go down by to another 5%, is quite part of normal, because you can see back in 08 itself, right, it went so bad, it went to 57%, right? Then of course in 1973 and 1974, it went down by 48%. So the medium itself is 24%. The average is 30%. So if we're talking about now, if the market dropped by another 5%, we're talking at a medium level. Okay, the medium level. Now, of course, that will be 3667 for the S&P 500. Now, if the market really go for the 30%, which is the average out for the last, all the recession itself, the last 12 of them, then it could go down by 30%, which is about 3150. All right, my target is actually 3200. So somewhere around between the 24% to 30%. All right, so this is the number that I'm looking at, and that's the reason why I believe that there could be another 5% drop down to 27,715 for the Dow Jones. All right, so let's look at the chart right now to see what do we expect for today's market. Now we do see that the market is recovering for the Dow Jones. That's good, and we tell traders that do take some profit along the way. Okay, so let's look at China market. Now, China today has did a strong recovery. It went a new low. I'm quite sure it purposely did that to bring all the to kick away all the all the longest and then turn up. So what happened now is that it's tried its best to stay above 13,000 for a short moment. The high went up to 13,065, but now it's back below 13,000 and it's still marginally below my trend line, which I suspect that it may not stay. If it stays above it, okay, we may see a recovery back to 13,200. But if it doesn't, I'm so sorry, it's still going to go down again, and 12,650 could be next. All right, so traders, please watch out for that. Okay. Now let's look at the US Dow Jones for today. Let's take a look now with the charts. TWB charts, of course. Now today the Dow Jones, its opening price is between the two pivot, hence therefore the MLP 29,861 will be a strong resistance. So if anyone would sell the market a bit higher, you can aim at 29,861. But if you want to follow rules, then you shouldn't do anything now because it's above OP but below MLP, right? We do know that the KSI and the KRW are both red, so just have to wait for a while. The opening price of today is 29,589. So as long as the Dow Jones stays above OP, you shouldn't do anything. If you want to just do some bottom picking, you can go ahead, but I'm not doing anything right now. In fact, I'm just waiting. If the market drips below OP again, the selling will likely resurface. So be careful on this, yeah, traders. Now for the Nasdaq, let's take a look. Now Nasdaq is also doing the same thing. Now Nasdaq, we have a, let me just do this first, take away the line. Now the Nasdaq itself, we have at pivot 1 at 11,310, and of course by staying above OP and above pivot 1 is a buy at the moment. Yes, we know the KSI and the KRW are red, but based on rule, it's a buy, and you can see that the market is really just simply following. All right, so you can see that we have a bomb at the bottom here itself. Once the market do a CCRY at KTR -3, bang, the market went all the way up, and now it's above the pivot 1 level. Hence therefore, as long as the market stays above pivot 1, the upside is almost intact. Yeah, this is something that you probably have forgotten, or if you remember, that'll be excellent. Okay, Now, how about the S&P 500? As I mentioned earlier, now S&P 500 now is trading at 3702. The low was 3658. Okay. Now, 3654 was the KCB level, which I mentioned. If the market is going to go there and get its support itself right with 3654, so it missed by a couple of points, it's fine. Now, the point is this: the MLP is at 3727, right? 3727. So which means that if the market really want to go back again, the market must break MLP, which I don't think it may happen today. Okay, both KSI and KRW are red, and the moment now it's going up because DAX is moving a bit higher, and that's the maximum I can see. Now, how about the Hang Seng? Now, Hang Seng basically gapped down this morning, and then immediately with China A50 upside, it upthrust all the way up. It went to the high of 18,077, and now it's pulled back to 17,009. Nice, all right. So as long as the MLP, watch out, 17929, which is right now, if the market stays above 17929, the Hang Seng can still move up again. But if the market cannot stay above 17929, then I suspect that the selling may continue later in the evening. Let me bring the chart right now to show you how powerful is this. Oh, my bad. Hold on, give me a moment. Okay, you can see over here right now, this is the MLP, right? If the market stays above MLP, it's going up, true. But once it comes down, the MLP become a resistance, and that's where the market drop all the way down. Now, of course, China market is going to close soon and is recovering a little bit, and that's why you can see the market recover. But now you can see very clearly and evidently the MLP is forcing the trader towards the downside. Yeah. So traders, just take note on this MLP for today. Now for the Nikkei. Alright, waiting for the Nikkei update. Okay, the Nikkei itself, right, we can see is very clear. The Nikkei was below MLP at 26,796. It's below MA30. So once the market opened, jolly well, we all know that there will be some selling. But interestingly, we have two KCB at 26,419 and 26,469, right? Both times the market triggered us. Both times the market recovered. Let me go to the lower time frame to let you see the impact of this. This is a really incredible system. All right, take a look. The market was just going down, right? And once it reaches the KCB level, which is at 26,419, you can see it just stopped there magically, as if that the market know this number exists. And after that, what happened? The market went all the way up itself, and that is where profit are made. So once you have all this information in your TWB system, right, you can make things very easy for yourself. And now you understand why more and more traders enjoy TWB system. Okay, now for this DAX this morning, I thought the DAX will be able to touch the BNB extension of 12,132, but instead of going down, straight away it opened and go up. Now, why is that so? The boys are selling, but the weighting itself seemingly siding towards the boys' side. Not too sure what's the reason, but undeniable when I see this, I know the selling itself will be a bit difficult. Hence, therefore, now the MLP is 12,430. This will be the strong resistance for now for DAX market, okay? Now, oil has continued to trade lower, and I told you oil will come down to $78. Now, when I was saying this back then, when I was at 82, 83, I got some people calling me and scolding me. In fact, I say, Cal, how can crude oil be a 70 plus region and blah, 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 everything? I say, look, with more than potentially 10 million barrels of oil coming in from the White House, and at the moment now itself, right, everybody is freaking out in the stock market. Who will really be bothered by this energy prices? And look at it, the KSI and KRW, both of them are red, so that signifies that there will be selling. So that's the reason why on Friday the crude oil opened up at $83, slammed down all the way to the low of $77.98. Now that's a $5 move. Of course, by fundamental, the energy prices came off a little bit, so you might be glotting with it. But if you think carefully, it's what can create a oil price come down in such a manner is because the economy is in shambles. That is the main concern right now. And I've been telling you this for a long time. Be very, very, very careful, okay? Now for gold, I already told you guys 1620 will still be my bet. KSI, KCX, both are in the downside. MLP today is 1656. The high of today is 1649. That shows that the resistance is there. Now, of course, it's a very nice long tail right now. Could this be the bottom? Well, we will let the market decide, but I would rather go hit 1620 first. Then a rebound will be much, much better. Okay, but again, we'll let the market decide. Yep. Now, how about this Silver. Now, incredibly, silver, I thought that it will actually find a base at about 19 flattish, but this time round, it broke below the MA30 and is below MLP of 1923. So therefore, based on what I'm seeing right now, the key support right now for the silver, the high is 1858. So as long as the market stays above 1858, silver for this time round is still okay. But if silver pulls back for whatever reason, I will think that, right, we can consider to look at $18 for a small buy, because I still think that silver has got space to go higher. But of course, the downside could stretch all the way to 70.30 because of the KSI and the KCX. Okay, they're having some signal tell you that, hey, you know what, just be careful. Yeah, that could be some downside. Okay. All right, so that is what we have for the gold and silver. Let's look at our beautiful Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin have been sideways for the last 5 days. KSI has gone green and KCX is blue. So what does it mean? That means that there are some people buying. There are also some people selling at the same time. But it could be flat at the moment. But the main gist is this. All right, the Bitcoin today must stay above 18,500. Now, if the Bitcoin stays below 18,500, that may escalate a little bit of selling back down again to 18,000. Now, of course, we all know that a lot of people are buying Bitcoin and they really don't want it to fall. But in my opinion, it's all right. If this is going to break, then of course, a lot of things will have its repercussion, okay? So watch out for this. Hopefully, stay there, all right? And of course, we have Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is also doing the same thing, sideways. But the KSI is telling them that there could be upside potential, so it's very different from the Bitcoin. And the KCX, although it's blue, is recovering a little bit. So let's wait for it to fall. Maybe we see a support at 1247 or 1192. It may stay there for a while, and then after that, we may see the rally coming in. Okay. All right, so that is what I have for today. I wish you all the best in trading. I say once again, the Dow has to go below OP first before any form of selling, unless you don't mind selling near the high and take the so-called fundamental risk. Now, for me itself, in my opinion, the dollar will go higher in the next few days to weeks. So traders, be very careful, and of course, consider buy some more VIX and aim at this 32 to 42 level. All right, that's Cal signing off. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.